That was very exciting. Should I keep going?
Indeed. Yes, that was short.
Yeah.
Welcome to Stargatesing, a Stargate gazing podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm your other host, Kathy.
And each week we review an episode of Stargate alternating between SG1 and Atlantis. Hello.
How are we doing today?
I am fine. How are you?
Doing all right.
Why is your username today the Spiky Rain?
Because I rode my bike home and the rain was very, very pointy.
The possible dream.
Ah, I didn't know rain could be pointy.
I mean, it sure felt pointy to me.
Ah,
Riding my bike, all spiky.
fair.
Yeah.
That sounds annoying.
It was okay. It was, chillier than I thought it was outside.
It did get surprisingly cold out. I had to close some of the windows in the house. I was enjoying not having to have the air conditioning on and having the windows open, but then I was like, oh, it's actually too cold now.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these windows need to be closed, but also still the AC needs to not be on.
Yeah. Weird.
Quite.
Yeah. What's going on with you? Anything good?
Not really. Did some house cleaning, catching up on weeding now that it's not so crazy hot out and weeds have taken over my entire property and it's annoying.
I hear that.
And
Yeah.
trying to take advantage of the last bit of time that I have left before the semester starts.
Woo. Do you start next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Us too. Classes start Wednesday.
Same. But then professional development starts on Monday, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Apparently it's 2 days this year. Normally it's just one, but this year it's 2 days.
Cool.
No. Definitely not the word I would use to describe it.
I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should just not go.
I agree.
What are they going to do? Fire you?
Right? If only I had a clone I could send in my place.
Right?
That'd be great.
It would be really nice if the clone could do all the garbage work and then you could just do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
It would suck for the clone, but fuck them.
Screw them, yeah.
What have they ever
Should have thought about that before they became a clone.
Yeah. So, clones, huh?
Yeah, you know who else likes to take advantage of clones but actually has clones to do shit for him?
Who's that?
Paul.
Paul. Really? Who knew?
Yeah, I keep forgetting about him, and then he keeps coming back.
And there are so many of him.
So many balls. Balls. What is this episode?
This episode is Stargate SG1, Season 10, Episode 4, Insiders.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it starts with a recap, a deep cut recap. Jack got his head sucked into some alien tech, and it put some new Stargate locations into the computer. Bald thinks that the Jaffa need a strong new leader, and that leader should be him. Then he took to stealing a whole bunch of gates. Morgan Le Fay was real and an ancient, and she shared the location of an anti-ancient weapon developed by Merlin. It seemed very weird and disjointed and made no sense to me until I started watching the episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I watching the right show? Did I pick like a season 5 episode or something by mistake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely was like, oh, Jack, please come back.
Right? Same. But then, of course, when I saw Morgan Le Fay, I'm like, oh, okay, I am in the correct season, apparently. It was weird.
Indeed. We start in space. We see an Alkesh coming toward Earth, and then we're in the SGC. Landry is meeting with SG1, but there is no Daniel. There's no Daniel at all in this episode.
I noticed, and I thought that was weird, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, I was like, what's Daniel been doing? And then I completely forgot about it for the rest of the episode.
Well, everybody except Daniel is gathered in a room to talk about him behind his back.
I don't think they even mention him.
I don't
like the fact that he's not there. They do mention his name a couple times, but
I think at some point they mentioned that
they do
he's
say
in the library. Or
that's right.
Yeah,
but they did. I forgot. Okay.
On Camelot.
It's only a model. Shh.
They're discussing the never-ending quest to find Merlin's weapon. which will never, ever, ever end.
Yeah,
Ever.
it's way more drawn out than I expected it to be.
But that's okay because this episode, we're just going to ignore it. It's a little distraction episode.
Yeah, don't really ignore it entirely, though. It is kind of
True.
the focus. Yeah.
True. One of the gates that Morgan Le Fay gave them the address to, the planet has a toxic atmosphere, so they're having a hard time searching that planet.
Isn't that what MALPs are for?
I would think so. And,
They've got the drones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's not really quite the same as having actual people. Isn't that what EV suits are for?
Yeah. They might be in them. We don't know.
They're just making excuses.
Yeah. And the other place, they're like, Sahal, that's been abandoned for 40,000 years. Wah. Okay.
But wasn't Merlin around longer ago than that?
I don't even know. Wasn't Atlantis was abandoned like 10,000 years ago, so Merlin was around then. But I don't know how long.
Okay.
Who knows how long they were ascended before he retook human form? It could have been
also,
40,000
couldn't he
years.
have, at some point after it was abandoned, gone and hidden it there anyway?
He could have. That is a good point.
It's not like it stopped existing after it was abandoned.
If we are not looking at it, it doesn't exist.
This is fair. Yes, this is true.
Landry boils it down to, we've got nothing. And Mitchell agrees. Not yet. Landry is pretty annoyed with the nothingness given all of the work they've put into trying to find this weapon. And why are these two addresses that Morgan Le Fay gave you dead ends? That's weird, right? And Sam also thinks that's weird and makes no sense. She wouldn't have needed to give them false addresses. She should have just not given them anything. So she thinks they're missing something. Landry says Daniel agrees with that. And as we mentioned, he's on Camelot doing research in the library. They're interrupted then by Poulter, who tells Landry he's needed in the gate room. They join Poulter in the control room.
Chief Master Sergeant Walter Harriman.
They have heard from NORAD that this Alcash we saw at the beginning has entered Earth's atmosphere and is headed straight for Cheyenne Mountain. They've got some airplanes in the air to intercept. The pilots radio the Alcash, trying to get them to say something and or stop their landing. But they get nothing. So they fire at the Alcash and it goes down. SG1 arrives at the crash scene to find out what's going on. They've got the pilot who is not injured except for minorly. And they go to the ambulance where it is not just any pilot, it's Ball. It's Ball in the ambulance.
Pickle surprise!
With the gauze.
He's adopted a steampunk aesthetic, which I thought was weird, given the last time we saw him, he was kind of Lord of the Underworld style. With robes and such, kind of similar to Anubis. I mean, he kind of always has been more the ancient Egyptian, but underworld style. And now he's steampunk.
All right, well.
Yeah.
You gotta change with the times, I guess.
I thought it was weird.
And that's credits.
Credits. After credits, we're in Sam's lab. They're trying to figure out exactly why Ball would have come to Earth and also how he came here without being detected exactly. She just isn't exactly sure. They know that he's been able to do it before, but how?
Yeah. How?
Right.
Tell us. Ball.
And why? Yeah. He must have had his Alkesh cloaked, but I guess they think that they still should have been able to find him anyway using some of the sort of technology that we have. And they're not sure why he would fly directly at Stargate Command as he was. Vala suggests maybe it was an attack, but Mitchell says not even Ball is that crazy because there's no way that that would have accomplished anything. But Vala's not so sure, so it sounds like they've had some interactions in the past, perhaps when she was a Goa'uld herself.
Goa'uld?
Vala thinks maybe he thought that his people would beam him out at some point if he just crashed right into the SGC. So maybe he was aiming directly for Stargate Command. Sam says that there are jamming devices that they put all over the base that would prevent anybody from locking on to anything within the base. So nobody would be able to beam in, nobody would be able to beam out, no one's going to be beaming the gate out. So no, she doesn't think that he would be trying to get into the base and then having people beam him out. That couldn't be a thing. Landry comes in, and Mitchell asks if he's said anything, but nope, he's only going to talk to SG1. And I'm wondering, what version of SG1? Does he know who's on SG1 now? Is he going to be willing to talk to the random mix of people that are now on SG1, which is only 2 people from the original SG1 currently present. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to go talk to him.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So they all go talk to him.
Yeah. Do you think he's disappointed that Jack isn't there because he had an extra special adversarial relationship with Jack from his torturing days?
Yeah, I think he would be pretty excited to see his former torture victim.
Yeah.
Reek! That's a good name for you.
But he doesn't get that.
No.
Do you think he ever sent one of his clones off to spy on General O'Neill?
Probably. Just for fun?
Because, yeah, I mean, it's not his first visit to Earth.
Yeah. I bet.
Or their first visit, I guess.
Yeah. He's had someone stationed on Earth for an extended period of time.
Indeed. So maybe it's just like one of them just follows Jack around, enjoying the memory of being so evil.
Do you think that he has somebody follow both regular Jack and young Jack?
Oh my God, young
just
Jack.
For the sake of it.
Oh my God, yes. I think that probably is what happened. He knew all about young Jack and followed him as well.
Yeah. Double Ball has to follow Double Jack.
Forgot about young Jack. Just for a moment.
Yeah. Clone on clone action.
So yes, SG1 minus Daniel goes to see Ball. He knows all their names. He calls Vala Katesh. So confirming, there's some kind of knowledge history there. Sam corrects him that she goes by Vala. Vala's like, I always did. Mitchell tells him to make whatever he has to say to SG1 quick and make it good. Ball admits it's his clones that are the problem, and they all want him dead. And Teal'c's like, us too, man. Mitchell asks what he did to warrant his clone's wrath.
Begun. The Clone War has.
But Ball then launches into an explanation about how his trying to steal gates and rule the galaxy was really in everyone's best interest. I needed to do those things because the Ori are terrible. Which is true. So we're rehashing what happened with Ball and his Stargates. Sam's like, to the point, none of this explains why you're here and why your clones would want you dead. Ball calls Vala perceptive because she says that there's probably more to his plan than he's letting on. He still doesn't explain, while Vala asks Sam about the powerful weapon the Jaffa have on Dakara. So they explain about the weapon that Anubis had wanted to wield that they ultimately used to kill all the replicators. Ball says, using my dialing program, I might add, which, you did help in that instance. Vala thinks this is all starting to make sense when she hears from Sam that this device could have been adapted to kill organic life. Ball could have used the weapon to kill all life except for him and his followers. And that would have thwarted the Ori.
Maybe the Ori would have come after his followers?
Maybe they would have been mad that Ball killed all these future worshippers.
And then just killed all of them. And then nobody would have been left except the Ori and the Ancients.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be fun for them?
Yeah.
What a wonderful world.
Mitchell's like, this was Anubis' plan to kill everything. And Ball's like, well, I didn't say I was original. The reason that the clones want to kill him, though, is that he didn't plan to let them all live in his new Ball-only paradise.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have even been Ball and the clones. It would have just been Ball.
And his slaves.
And his slaves, I guess, yeah. Enslaved people.
Yeah, so it's like the No Homers Club from The Simpsons. There's already one Ball. There can be no balls. Vala wants to know why Ball thinks SG1 would help. But Ball says it is because he can help them with the search for Merlin's weapon. Of course, let's dangle that out there. I'm sure he's going to lead them right to it immediately.
Then we're in Landry's office again, and Ancient Barrett is there. And I was trying to remember the last time we saw him, and I couldn't. It's
been a minute.
A couple seasons, I think, at least, right?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mean, we've seen him at least since Jack left, because there's at one point where he's like, "Are you seeing anyone, Sam?" And she's like, "No, let's not talk about it."
That's
she's
right.
clearly seen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in love with her now, though, right? By he, I mean Barrett, but also
I
Jack.
think Barrett is always in love with Sam.
It's true. Fair.
Yeah.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Everyone loves Sam.
Exactly.
You know, you blow up one sun and suddenly everyone expects you to walk on water.
Yeah. Do you think Mitchell's in love with her yet?
He probably is secretly, but he's keeping it close to the vest, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yep. It's true.
Daniel and Teal'c are in love with Sam, too.
Yeah, of course, obviously. Because how could you not be? I'm not shipping any of them, but I just assume that they're all in love with her.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, Barrett is there because he wants the prisoner. He's got an order from the NID to come and pick him up, except that Landry has never gotten an order from the president. He basically tells Barrett to go screw. So there's going to be a bit of a boring bureaucratic fight between Barrett and Landry over who gets to have Ball. So while Landry's not going to be giving up Ball quite so easily, Barrett's just going to be hanging around for a while. Landry mentions that they don't even know if this is the real Ball. Barrett doesn't care. Even if it's a clone, they want him anyway. But Landry still says no. Gonna have to wait your turn.
I do like Landry. The more we see of him, the more I like him.
I do. Yeah, I do too. I mean, he's no Hammond, and that's the only reason that I don't like him.
It's
just
true.
like the only reason. It's not that I don't like Mitchell. He's just not Jack.
Yeah, I hear that.
Octopuses are clever, playful, and sometimes even mischievous.
I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. It's not that I don't like Pulaski. Pulaski is actually a really great character. She's just not Dr. Crusher over on Star Trek. So the reason that people don't like Pulaski is because everyone loves Dr. Crusher. But if you actually just watch her character and try not to think about Dr. Crusher at all, her character is awesome.
Yeah, I really came around on her listening to Greatest
Except
Gen.
for the space racism when she talks about is an ass, like a complete asshole to Data. Well, leave that part out of it. And if you can ignore that, she's a good character.
People have dimensions,
Yeah.
They're complicated.
And she comes around to Data and eventually realizes that he's a person and is not an asshole to him anymore.
Yeah.
One is my name. The other is not.
Yeah. So anyway, I do like Landry. Yes. Agree. Just, I miss Hammond.
I know. I know.
Request denied.
Anyway, we're in the interrogation room next with Ball and Sam. Ball says that Anubis told him all about the weapon because I guess Anubis, having been ascended, would have had that kind of secret knowledge. He had been looking for the thing when he was in this human plane of existence, I guess we would call it, but he was never able to find it, and now I guess he's off still fighting Oma Desala, presumably.
Yeah.
Ball mentioned that it's in the list of addresses that Jack came up with after that repository of knowledge, so that's why we got that really long ago cutscene at the beginning in that recap. So, yeah, there's thousands of addresses on that list, and Ball says, yeah, and you're never going to find it on your own, but I know where it is, or at least he knows a good amount about where it is, and can help them narrow down the choices considerably. All he wants is help getting rid of his clones, and he's put locator chips in all of them.
Ooh.
To help them out with that. Sam mentions that there's a locator chip in him, implying that that would mean that he is a clone if all of the clones have locator chips in them. And he said, well, I had to put one in myself so that they would trust me, obviously. But also, conveniently, my Alcash has a tracking system, so they'll never see you coming because you can use my Alcash. They'll think it's me, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he's chosen these gullible humans, because if they were meaner people, they would have just killed all the clones and been done with it.
Right? And that's probably what they should have done.
Probably.
Yeah.
They have no qualms about killing Goa'uld generally, so...
Right, but they're getting soft in their old age, not so old age of, 10 years past when this started.
They're like, it's Ball. We know him. We can't kill him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ball says that he should mention that every one of his clones know where Merlin's weapon is, so it is to the benefit of SG1 and the SGC to find all of them before any of them just manage to slip out and communicate with the Ori as to where that weapon is. So yeah, find them sooner rather than later, maybe. Help me find them all. Get them all in one spot.
Maybe murder them. I know Teal'c's for it.
Teal'c would be all for just murdering all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to round up all of the Ball clones because they want to have them all in one place before they can go run off and tell the Ori where the weapon is.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Landry and Barrett are watching this whole thing from the observation room. Barrett asks Landry if he thinks he's telling the whole truth. Landry is like, of course not all of it, but probably at least some of it. And there's too much at stake here, so Landry's going to authorize this. Barrett wants to know what he's supposed to tell his superiors because this means, of course, that Ball is going to be spending that much longer at the SGC. Landry doesn't care. That's a Barrett problem. That's not a Landry problem. Landry walks away looking very pleased with himself, and it was entertaining.
Yeah. Then we're in the briefing room with Landry and SG1 minus Daniel. Of course, I'm going to stop saying that, but that is always the case in this episode. No Daniel.
SG3/4 now.
Yeah.
That we're back up to having 4 on the team again with Vala officially a member.
Dr. Lee is with them.
Yeah, I just, I don't get to get off world much or ever, hardly.
Yay.
I like that they keep giving Dr. Lee chances, even though he keeps kind of screwing up. But
it does.
I appreciate it because I love Dr. Lee.
Me too.
He reports to everyone that they have activated the tracking system on the Al-Kash, and there are a bunch of dots on the screen. And Mitchell goes, "Those are the balls." And Lee's like, "More like dots." Dots, balls, get it?
It was so dumb, and I loved it.
I loved it too. The room, though, didn't really enjoy it.
No, because they have no sense of joy and humor.
That's right. Rude. They debate momentarily about whether or not they're going to actually go try and catch all these clones instead of just straight up murdering them for no good reason. And they're just going to give it a try. So the first planet they pick, they're going to go to some planet that Vala knows that used to belong to Camulus, maybe. She's like, "I can totally get you in there, so let's go do that." After this meeting, Mitchell and Landry are having a talk in the halls. We call that what? Talking the halls? Yes.
Indeed.
I haven't said that in a while.
We haven't, but yes.
They're debating whether Vala should go along. Mitchell's on team bring Vala now. Daniel was persuasive in saying that she's useful, so that's what they're going to do.
And then they're in the armory, getting ready to go, and Vala is delighted that she gets a weapon. Specifically, she gets a Zat gun. Even though Mitchell was a little bit reluctant initially. She's very delighted, though, in her BDU and asks how she looks. She's so excited. Mitchell asks her to try to not get them killed. Next, they're on some planet. It doesn't even get a name. It just says unnamed planet.
Oh.
They find a ring platform. Vala refers to it as a back door, if you will. But they don't see any way to activate it, so Vala says leave that to her. So she wanders off into the woods. There's a few Jaffa on patrol in there. Once they pass, she whistles at them, draws their attention to her, which seems like a pretty bad weapon. They start a firefight. She runs away into the woods. SG1 hears this firefight starting and they take cover. Vala comes jogging out back into the clearing. Mitchell's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Vala nonchalantly announces that she alerted the Jaffa patrol to her presence. Mitchell, of course, wants to know why, and she said so that they'll send reinforcements. And again, Mitchell wants to know why. How is that at all helpful? And Vala asks, "Well, where do you think the reinforcements are going to come from?" And, of course, they all have a look of realization suddenly come over them as they were all looking angry and skeptically at her. So they all get up, run into the rings. The rings come down, zhoo, 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 zhoo. And, of course, the team disappears and are replaced by the Jaffa reinforcements. And, of course, there is no team for the Jaffa to find. And SG3/4 is in whatever building the Jaffa have set themselves up in.
That was a fun little Vala trick. I enjoyed
It
that.
was. Yeah, it was clever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the team is in whatever building this is, sneaking in a nooks and crannies area. We haven't seen one of those in a while.
We have not. This says it's a Hatak, so apparently I
they're
don't know
on
if
a
it's
ship?
grounded somewhere or just in orbit. Who knows?
They have snuck their way to the throne room where there's a ball on the throne. We see a grenade roll in, or at least a gas grenade or a flash
canister,
bomb. Yeah. And it goes off. The team comes in, does their thing. This ball tells them not to shoot. He knows why they're there, and they're making a terrible mistake. And Mitchell's like, oh, because you're the real ball, huh? And he says, yes, of course. And my imposter probably promised you the location of Merlin's weapon if you get rid of the rest of us. This ball says, you know he has no idea where it is, right? Or how to find it? But I do. I got that information after the clones were created, so you know I'm the only one who knows. I didn't share it with any of my other clones. Mitchell is not having this. He is done. So they take Ball out of there, prisoner. And they'll sort it out at the SGC.
Yeah. Sometime later, they're back in the interrogation room. Both balls are in there. Mitchell sarcastically says, I can see the difference now. Teal'c looks a little confused and says, I still cannot. Vala is not so convinced that either of them knows how to find the weapon. Landry says, this is Ball we're talking about. Can't take anything that either of them say at face value. So they've got some scientists at work trying to see if there's any way at all that they can tell which one, if either, is the real Ball. This is going on in the observation room. I mentioned that the two balls are in the interrogation room, but everybody's talking about them from up in the observation room.
Yeah.
And then the two of them get in a fist fight. So, yeah, weird scene.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yep. And the guards zap them.
I thought I took notes on it, but I didn't. But I like how all of the balls are dressed similarly but different when they find them. Because they all like have that same flowy robe style generally. But yeah. Anyway, that's just a thought I was having while I was watching this ball get captured. Then they've done the analyzing of the balls, and the scientists cannot tell them apart.
Nope.
They're either all clones or there's no difference between Ball and his clones. Bad news.
And by all, you mean the two that they have.
Yes. That's true. That is true. It is just the two of them.
Yes.
Right now.
They did say 4 samples, but they were talking about the 2 hosts and the 2 hagfish.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes. Meanwhile, on another random planet, the team is out again. They've encountered some Jaffa they've been fighting. Vala and Sam run off trying to draw fire and trying to find another way to get to Ball while Teal'c and Mitchell stick together. Sam and Vala find a force field, so they know something's there. But then they encounter a Ball, just out in the open, so that was fine. It didn't matter that there was a force field?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I like that this transcript refers to this ball as black and gold ball. The second one it just referred to as ball number 2.
Yeah.
But this one is black and gold ball.
And fun fact, then Mitchell and Teal'c also find a ball on the same planet. So there's 2 balls for the price of 1.
Yep.
Yay! Ball count. Some of my notes I don't think got saved because I was counting balls at the end, trying to figure out how many they were, and it's just not there.
Weird. I hate when that happens.
Because I wanted to know how many there were total, and now I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I was trying to count at one point when they were all standing in one room, and I failed to do so, and then I gave up.
Yeah, because I think at some point they mentioned something about 20. I didn't count that many, so I was trying to wonder how many died in the firefight at the end. I'm getting ahead of
I thought only 2 of them died in the end.
Yeah, so then I was like, oh, are there 18 balls? And I couldn't count 18. I think I got up over a dozen or so, but then that was all I could see in the
I don't know.
poorly lit, these are all fake balls.
Yes.
Anyway.
Next, we are in the gate room. The team comes back with the 2 balls that they have, one being black and gold ball, did I say? Or was it gold and black ball? Now I've forgotten. black and gold
Black and
ball.
gold.
And then the other one that I didn't mention because I couldn't find it in my notes. Then I found it, but it's earth-toned style ball. That's
Oh.
what they called the other one.
Okay.
I am an autumn.
Have come through the gate. And Mitchell says that they've got a full count, 2 strikes, 3 balls. Walter says that that's clever and looks delighted. Sam says he was thinking of it the whole way home, all 3 seconds, but Sam says it was 3.2. In fact, Walter says that actually ties them with SG12 because SG12 brought 2 more in about an hour ago. So Mitchell's a little disappointed that they are not in the lead, but Sam reminds him it is not a competition. But Mitchell says you. Out in the hall, Barrett runs into Landry again, or comes to find Landry probably is really more like it, and says that he understands that he's got a few extra balls. Maybe I can have one or a few of them, take them off your hands. But Landry says, nope, not until they figure out which one's the original and whether or not he knows where the weapon is or which one may or may not know where the weapon is. So long story short, no, they're all staying there on the base. Also, it's entirely possible that one or several of them may have their own agenda and they need to know that as well. Barrett says he was afraid he was going to say that. Landry asks if Barrett spoke to his superiors, and of course he did, and they are very unhappy. Landry says, well, that sucks for you, but they're civilian, and I don't answer to civilians, so I don't actually have to follow their orders, so until the president tells me otherwise, I'm still keeping them all here. Apparently, the NID did try to get the president to order Landry to turn at least some of them over, but he said no. So for the time being, Landry doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Landry.
Yeah. In some other hallway, they're continuing their conversation. Barrett says he'd like to stay on and observe the interrogations if he could at the very least, so that he can gain some information if anything turns out to be useful. Landry does, at the very least, give him permission to do that. So they turn around the corner and enter the briefing room. Mitchell, Sam, Vala, and Tilk are there, and they are watching some monitors with a whole bunch of balls.
I mean, that's a lot of balls.
Oh, I think that's where I counted the 15 because I paused it and counted on the monitors. Oh, no, that's where I got 20 because there were 6 monitors. The 2 side ones had 2 each, so it was 4. And then each of them had 4. So it was a total of 20 balls. This is very important work I was doing. It is a lot of balls.
So many balls.
Yep.
It's too many balls, really.
It really is. Would you rather
10 pairs of balls.
20 balls or 7 wives? Because the last episode we were talking about how Lucius had 7 wives. So
yes, I just didn't. Yes, it just seemed a random question. I guess I'd rather probably have 7 wives than 20 megalomaniacal, evil hagfish people.
Even if they look like Cliff Simon.
Even if that were the case, yes.
Yeah.
True. Whichever one is the least evil, can I have one of them along with the 7 wives?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a least evil among them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have some interrogating happening. Sam comes to see one of the balls. I think it's ball prime, or at least the first one they captured.
Yeah, they do all have a number. They've basically got prison clothes on, but they gave them all a number.
I did like that.
Yes, I thought it was pretty funny.
Ball is asking Sam how she could possibly help him. And she's like, well, we could spare your life if you help us find Merlin's weapon. We won't kill you. Isn't that great? And he's like, yeah, then I'm going to have to live out my life in one of your prisons in squalor and deprivation. Good point, Ball. Mm-hmm. Sam says it's better than the alternative, but I think sometimes conditions are so bad. Maybe it would be better to not be there at all. Anyway, then we're in another interrogation room with Mitchell and yet another ball. I didn't pay close attention to all their numbers, so I don't know which ball this is.
We couldn't even see them on some of the shots either.
Yeah. So Mitchell's interrogating this one. He's like, I don't think you're the real Ball. You haven't tried to cut a deal. You really don't know how to find this weapon. You're just a clone. But this Ball is like, nope, I am the real Ball. Mitchell's like, do you think the real Ball would have let himself be captured like you did, you freaking wimp cowering in the bushes like a scared little bunny rabbit? Like Ball would know what a bunny rabbit is? How about we stop these Earth references, Mitchell? Vala asked you nicely.
Yeah.
Then we get a flashy eye and some Cookie voice.
Cookie.
Which I was really happy because we haven't seen that in quite a while.
We haven't. It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
It felt familiar and nostalgic.
Yeah. Ball is not going to be, goaded into revealing this information.
Now I'm lying on the cold, hard ground.
But Mitchell continues, like, you're not intimidating at all. You couldn't scare a 10-year-old out of his lunch money or run an empire. And then Cookie. He says, maybe let the guard go and I'll show you what I'm capable of. And Mitchell's like, the real Ball wouldn't wait for the guard to leave. Sucker.
I think he's right, though.
Yeah.
In another interrogation room, Ball is in there. This is Ball 1. Vala comes in and says, it looks like you're having a tough day, huh? Ball keeps referring to her as Katesh and asks what she wants. She asks if that's any way to greet an old friend. She says that she knows that they had their differences, but maybe they can work together here. He reminds her that she attacked his fleet at Selanus and crippled his flagship, killed 10,000 of his best Jaffa, and she says, yeah, well, it wasn't anything personal. And it was all in the past anyway. She wants to talk about the future, their future together. Because there's always been something between them, maybe a certain spark of some sort. Ball says, well, maybe, but you have a new alliance now with these stupid people, so... Vala's like, yeah, well, maybe not. I've just been looking for the right opportunity, and maybe the right opportunity has presented itself now. You know how to find the address that we need, and I have access to the databases, so maybe we can find that weapon and we can get out of here together, and I can ditch these losers, and it'll be great. I'll find the weapon, and we'll make our escape, and then we can share in the pleasure of each other's company, and it'll be fantastic. Ball says he likes that plan. Vala seems a little bit surprised, and then he asks, why wait? And he tries to make out with her right then and there, but Vala suddenly isn't really so keen in that idea. But Ball says Merlin's weapon's not going to go anywhere. We've got plenty of time. Vala reminds him that they have cameras and stuff all around them. But Ball doesn't care. He thinks that they should maybe give those cameras a good show. But Vala tries to convince him that maybe they shouldn't be blowing her cover just yet. And when he tries to get a little bit more forceful, she gets a little bit more violent and slaps him in the face. He does leave her alone at that point, but it's kind of clear that he doesn't really believe that she's serious about this plan. Meanwhile, in the briefing room, Landry and Barrett are actually watching this interrogation, while Ball is saying that Tavala's time among the Tauri has made her soft, but she is a better liar than she used to be. Barrett says that Landry's people are getting nowhere with these interrogations, and Landry seems to rather agree with him and all of that, but he doesn't think that Barrett could necessarily do any better. Barrett, though, is confident that he could. It's what he's been trained for. Interrogations are kind of his thing. And he can have a half dozen agents there by tomorrow that are also specialists in interrogation. So if any balls know where the weapon is, they'll be able to figure it out. But no, Landry does not like that idea.
Yeah. Then we're in the cafeteria. They're just drinking coffee. There's no fun meals to talk about. No Jell-O.
Coffee's fun, though.
Coffee is fun, but it's not Jell-O.
It's true.
What's more fun than watching Sam eat Jell-O?
Yeah,
that sounds weird.
Not much.
Anyway, Sam is sitting there when Barrett comes up to talk to her. He wants to know how the interrogations are going, and Sam's like, you already know. And I know you think we're wasting our time. And Barrett's like, well, I didn't say that. Really? He is arguing with Sam that the NID should be involved in this again, because while they're fighting wars out in space, the NID is fighting them on Earth. Remember that time when the Goa'uld almost took over the Russian government? Let us do our thing. And Sam's like, well, we're not going to keep the balls here forever. Give us a little bit more time, and then you can do your thing. But he starts losing his cool. He's like, this is important, slams his hand down, and then asks Sam, this is about us, isn't it? Which is completely out of left field. Because she's like, us? What? He's like, we have unresolved issues. And Sam says, I care about you, you're my friend, so don't push it. And he stalks off in anger. It was weird. It was
very weird.
Very out of character for the Barrett we have seen.
Yes. Very unlike Barrett.
Yeah. But also, if there's any unresolved issues, they're all on Barrett's side.
Absolutely. Sam definitely does not have any unresolved issues. She's turned him down multiple times. So the unresolved issues are not hers.
Yeah. When he stalks off, he goes straight to one of the prison cells and demands to talk to one of the balls, which this guy just lets him do, which seemed weird to me.
He does show him some ID, but it does seem kind of odd.
I guess Landry probably wasn't like, don't let Agent Barrett in here, because that would be weird.
It would.
But it just seems strange to me that they weren't like, maybe we should check with General Landry first.
You would think that they would have.
Yeah. But no. So Barrett heads on in to talk to a ball.
Yeah. Then we are in the briefing room. Mitchell is there with Teal'c and Vala. I like that Teal'c is just holding his arm up. Meanwhile, he's apparently arm wrestling with Vala, who is using both arms and her entire body weight trying to pull his arm down. Meanwhile, Teal'c looks really bored and is rolling his eyes at her.
It was really funny.
It was, yes. Landry comes in and asks for good news, but of course they do not have any good news. They have found no information. They've got nothing.
To shreds, you say?
Vala complains that she didn't even make it to first base.
How does she know bases?
I was just about to ask, how does she know that? But she doesn't know about, like, Chihuahuas and St. Bernards or whatever dog breeds it was that Rodney had mentioned in the last episode of this show. I don't know.
Especially bases as a, not as a literal...
Right, as a euphemism, right. I don't know. Yep.
Maybe that's all she's looked up since she's got there is like
it could
Earth
be.
Sex culture. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Probably. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Landry asks about Sam, who is not present at the moment, and Mitchell says that she was finishing up with an interrogation last time that he saw anything of her, but he doesn't know if she's got anything to report. Landry's not pleased because they're running out of time. The NID wants their prisoners, and he is sure that the president is not going to let them just hold on to balls forever, as much as they might want to keep their hands on balls for lengthy periods of time. And then they notice on the screen that Barrett's talking to one of the balls because they've got all of the monitors on in this room. Landry confirms he did not give authorization for that. And as they are watching on the monitor, Ball takes him out, takes his weapon, which he was dumb enough to bring into the interrogation room. So that's bad. Ball shoots Barrett. Is Barrett dead?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he came back. No, we do see him later.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so now Ball has escaped and also has an ID card so he can go wherever he wants on the base. So that's great.
Great.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Then Sam's on the move. She heard the gunshots and heads straight back towards them. She demands a radio from one of the guards standing nearby and radios for backup. Good job, Sam.
Why didn't the guard do that?
I don't know.
Isn't that the guard's whole job?
He wasn't paid for speaking parts.
Fair.
So he runs off. We see Ball making his way through corridors while Mitchell and Landry witness him go in and find another Ball who he hands a weapon to. So he has multiple weapons already. Mitchell's like, we're losing containment. It's already lost.
Yeah.
It's too late. The fences are out. Even the raptor fences.
Even the raptor fences.
Yeah. Landry orders a full lockdown of levels 15 through 17. And then the monitors go down too. How did Ball swing that so quickly? So they can't see anything. They're blind. up in the room they were in watching. So I guess they're going to have to go do something now instead of just watching.
Doing things is the worst.
So annoying.
But I already did something today.
They're like, Sam's already doing stuff. Why do we have to do stuff?
Sam is still wandering around the halls on the corridor that she's been stuck in. She manages to make her way to Barrett. And he's like, oh, he got away and he got my gun. I don't know what happened.
You're a fucking idiot. That's what happened.
Yep. Sam's like, yeah, it's fine. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you some medical help. It's fine. But then there's a ball, of course. So they're captured, and that's bad. In fact, there are many balls there.
So many balls.
Yep. So they're gazetted, and
Yep.
they're going to go get put with the others. Yeah.
Indeed. Then we're back with the rest of the team in Landry, who are wandering around a different hallway. Mitchell reports they have emergency forces at access points, and the levels are all locked down now, which is great. They head into Dr. Lee's lab. Landry wants to know what they've got, and Dr. Lee's like, maybe we could release some symbiote poisoning, but we really need to figure out how to distribute it in gas form into all these levels. It'll only kill the balls. Won't that be great? Landry's like, cool, yeah, that sounds great. But then Lee's like, well, we have to figure out how to do this. We have to use the ventilation system. It's not really designed for this. It's going to take a while. I need to run some simulations in the middle of a lockdown. Mitchell boils it down to, okay, so you're saying some of the balls may get advance warning of the poison. Vala says when they realize what's going to happen, they'll just kill the hostages. So Teal'c says they need to provide a distraction when the gas is released. So Landry's like, all right, cool, go. So Lee's going to work on this gas distribution, and the rest of the team is going to go try to save hostages and make distractions. Yeah. Make distractions, yes.
Make distractions.
That's what I'm going with.
Sometime later, Sam wakes up and is tied up. Barrett's there also. And there's a ball there. Some ball. He tells her to get up. They don't have a whole lot of time. Then we're out in a hall with Mitchell and Vala and Teal'c, actually. So SG3, they're all there. And a bunch of other military people, too. They're trying to sneak around. Mitchell says that they can't be seen until Dr. Lee gives them the signal. And that there can't be any improvising at all this time. They stick to the plan exactly as the plan has been planned. Nothing at all surprising. Nothing that you don't tell us about. And Vala's like, yep, I got it. Even though all of my improvisations have been extremely useful in the past, I understand. Mitchell points to whatever her entry point is, and she goes and heads off in that direction. And then we see a storage room where there's a ball 1 specifically. Ball 2 comes in with Sam. And there's a computer and like an old-timey card catalog behind it. Were those still even in use back in whenever this was? 2000 aughts?
I can't say. I mean, maybe they just don't have a lot of library and they have a card catalog, because why bother computerizing that if it's a tiny little collection?
Why was this computer in a closet, and also why was this card catalog also in a closet? I was confused at what this closet is for.
Maybe the closet is storing the old card catalog they don't use and the old computer they don't use that they've already upgraded or something.
I guess so, yeah.
Their old tech closet or something. Yeah.
I guess. Anyway, the computer is turned on and everything, but it's asking for an access code, which of course they don't have, so Ball asks for it. Sam is reluctant because of course she realizes that they want to download the list of planets from the ancient database.
Weird. What do they want with that? Elsewhere, the rest of SG1 is continuing to sneak and be unseen by balls roaming the corridors. So we see Mitchell and a group of people. We've got Teal'c and he's got a team of people. They continue to avoid. Then we are back with Sam and Ball 1. She says to Ball that they want Merlin's weapon for themselves. And Ball's like, yes, a weapon that could kill the Ori and the Ancients? That seems pretty awesome. Yeah, I want that. Yeah. Gonna kill them all. To be honest, the Ori suck and so do the Ancients, so go for it, Ball, I say. Sam doesn't say that, I'm saying that. Sam refuses to give up her access code. He can kill her for all she cares. We're gonna regain control in a matter of time anyway, so good luck. Ball's like, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill the other hostages, starting with Agent Barrett. And Sam's like, oh, yeah, never mind. That's fine. Here, have the access code. It's fine. It's fine. Don't kill Barrett.
Yeah, he's being weird, though. She should have let him.
I know.
At some ventilation shaft, Siler is in position, and he tells Dr. Lee as much, and I was delighted to see Siler again, because that's another person I feel like we haven't seen in a million years.
Not as much, no.
Yeah, I love Siler. He's great.
Yeah.
Yep. Dr. Lee says, all right, their main access point on the north side is all set, so they just need to seal off the vent before some junction. So basically, they're just talking about their plan, nothing all that important. It's just important because Siler is involved, and I was happy about it. Yeah, that's that scene, basically. Then we're back in the storage room with Balls and Sam, and it's taking longer than Balls want it to because there's a lot of information to download. Ball accuses her of slowing it down somehow, and of course she doesn't know what he could possibly be talking about.
Maybe he shouldn't pick weird closet computers for his big downloads.
Right? Exactly. This computer, as you mentioned, could just be some weird, slow, obsolete computer that they've got in storage for a reason because no one uses it anymore. But Ball says it doesn't matter if she tries to slow them down anyway because they can't stop them. And he tells the other Balls to go and check the perimeter, though, just because this is taking so long. And they will be coming soon.
Yeah. I do like that we still get the occasional, like, grandiose, you can't stop us, gold nonsense. I enjoy that.
Agree.
In the corridors, Vala and her team are sneaking and then hiding. Mitchell and his team are hiding. He radios to Teal'c and Vala that they can't really go anywhere. They've hit a dead end, he says. But they are all trapped. Teal'c says he is similarly immobilized. Because there are a lot of balls in the hall.
There's so many balls.
They can't stop running into them.
Nope.
In the lab, Landry asks Dr. Lee how it's going, and Lee says they've set up different access points, and they'll all have to be ready simultaneously, and it's just going to take a minute, but he's totally got this, Dr. Lee has. Sure. In the closet, the download has finished. Ball grabs whatever storage device drive they've saved it on. He's like, yeah, that's mine. I'll take that. Sam says it won't do him any good because they'll never let him off base, even if you kill us all. And Ball says, that's what I wanted you to think, or you wouldn't have given me the code. So fooled you. He says he knew they would not negotiate, not even for Sam. Not with something like this, he says, at stake. But that's not my plan. He pulls a gun and leaves, locking Sam inside the closet, the weird little closet.
Do you think Sam carries a pocket knife with her? Because if so, she probably should have been able to either remove the doorknob or the hinges pretty easily.
I don't know. I feel like she would carry a pocket knife.
Or this being a storage closet, it's entirely possible there were some tools in here she could have used for that.
Maybe that's what's in the card catalog. Various pocket knives and weapons.
Could be.
Masquerading as a card catalog, a simple card catalog.
Could be. Could be. Yes, I bet it was. Out in the hall, Mitchell wants to know where the gas is. He asks into the radio. Vala, off in her corridor, wants to know the same thing. She says that they're about to be discovered where she is. And the ball in her hallway, in fact, is calling to her, saying that they know you're back there, Vala. He didn't actually say her name, but she says, so much for that plan. She does break her cover, and they start a firefight, Vala and the ball that is there. And actually, there's a couple balls there. So there's multiple firefights here with Vala and the multiple balls and some guards that are also in this hallway with her. Mitchell can, of course, hear all of that, and he's pretty pissed off, too. And then his team starts getting fired on by balls as well. So many shooting balls. In Lee's lab, some random person that I don't know that we have seen before tells Landry that there is gunfire happening outside. So Landry tells Siler to forget about the coordinated attack. Just throw all the gas cans into the ventilation system now. Just go ahead and do it. So that's what Siler does.
Yay, Siler.
Yay!
Vala and Mitchell and Teal'c's teams all continue fighting balls. Teal'c and Vala find each other, regroup, ask how everyone's doing. Vala asks about Mitchell, and then we see Mitchell has arrived at the card catalog room, opens it up and finds Sam there. She asks what's happening, and he says they've got the balls on the run. They're retreating back to one of the isolation rooms. And Sam is like, all of them together? And then she runs out of the room. They all start following her, and they all meet up and run together to one of the isolation rooms. We do see a couple of balls drop on the way from the gas. And then they arrive.
Yep. Sam runs in behind all the balls and says that they're too late. There's symbiote poison. But Ball says, no, you're the one that's too late. And then he tells someone to get them all out of there. And they're beamed out of there, despite all of the signal blockers and stuff they had in place.
Sigh.
So, yep, sucks to be them. Turns out that there was a ship in space that we see as it decloaks and then jumps into hyperspace, because why it had to decloak before jumping into hyperspace, who knows? But that's what they like to do on this show. Either cloak at oddly late or decloak at weird times, just so that we can see them.
Yep.
Sometime later in the briefing room, Landry wants to know how the hell he did that, and Sam says that the locator beacons apparently served a dual purpose because in close proximity, they combined and amplified their signal. Kind of similar to how the Wraith were able to combine and amplify their signl in that episode not long back. So, yep, it was strong enough to be picked up even through their jamming signal.
We're here.
And so that's why Ball needed them to go around and pick up all of the clones, because he was playing them from the start.
Shocking.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yep, all of that so that he could get his hands on the list of planets. And so that he could go and hopefully get Merlin's weapon, which is hidden on one of them. Teal'c points out that he did take a big risk because it was only because of Agent Barrett violating protocol that any of this was even able to happen. How did he know that that was going to happen? And so they all exchange looks and are confused and head out of the room to go and find Barrett.
They've actually got Barrett now in an interrogation room himself.
Yeah.
Landry and the whole of SG1 all go see him. That's a...
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's just so many people to do an interrogation, but I guess it's not the first time this episode. The whole crowd has been there. Landry says they need to talk. Sam asks if he read the reports when Ball was trying to take control of the Jaffa High Council, and that the council members were being controlled somehow. I can't remember the specifics of that mind control, but I probably should, but...
It was I forget the name of the device, but...
It was a device.
Yeah, it was a specific device that they were able to activate the mind control at a specific time. And they were able to test for people that were under its influence.
That's right, okay.
I forget what it was called, but yeah.
Yeah. So Barrett says he remembers it, probably much better than I just tried to remember it. So thank you, Mary. Thank you, Agent Barrett. Yeah.
They were using it to assassinate people.
Yeah. Oh, and also deny their own freedom. Like they weren't ready for... Yeah, there was politics stuff in there too, I think, with that mind control stuff. Anyway, Mitchell wants to know what Barrett was doing in Ball's cell, and Barrett's like, I wanted to question him. Landry says, you were not authorized. And Barrett's like, well, you wouldn't let me, so I decided to just go do it, okay? And Sam's like, yeah, you took your weapon in there. And he's like, oh, right, yeah, that was a mistake. Sam says, the Malcolm Barrett I know would not have made that mistake, and I agree, Sam. He was not in his right mind.
He was not.
He is like, what do you guys mean? You think I'm brainwashed? And they're like, yes. Yes, we do. Teal'c says the technology is readily available to the Goa'uld who infiltrated the Trust, and they are loyal to Ball. And also someone must have snuck out their specs of the anti-beaming technology, and that's how he knew that a combined signal would get through. Barrett says, that wasn't me, though. I didn't do that. Mitchell says, Ball knew you were coming, too. So, yeah. And Barrett is not wanting to hear this.
Can't really blame him.
No. He's like, I'm leaving, okay? I'm going to go back to Washington now. And Landry's like, no, you're not. You're not going anywhere. Give us your weapon. Barrett pleads with Sam, you know this isn't true, but...
No,
yeah.
She doesn't know that.
Yeah, and then he's taken away by some guards. Sam apologizes to Landry for giving Ball the code, and Landry's like, well, you didn't know what was going to happen, and also, you did the right thing under the circumstances. Although maybe you should have just killed Barrett. I don't know. Well, it's too late anyway. Anyway.
Wait, why kill Barrett?
That was the threat, right? If she didn't give the code, so maybe she just lets him die. But she wouldn't do that because that's not how Sam is.
I think you can unbrainwash him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Landry, Teal'c, and Vala all leave. It's just Sam and Mitchell alone. And Mitchell asks, do you think Ball can really figure out where the weapon is? And Sam's like, I don't know. Anubis had been trying for a long time, and that was Anubis.
You doubt my power.
But then again, there's only one of him. And Mitchell says you, which... I don't know. That was a weird thing to end on. That didn't sound... She laughs, but I was like, is that funny? But yeah.
It was weird.
Fortunately, as far as we know, there are not any Anubis clones.
It's hard to clone someone that doesn't have a corporeal body, I would imagine.
True. That is true. Yeah. So, end of episode.
End of episode. Did you like the episode?
I liked parts of the episode. I mean, I just love Ball jokes, and I enjoy Ball himself.
Who doesn't love Ball jokes?
Yeah.
Have I ever mentioned how hard it is that I can't make any ball or dick jokes when I'm teaching about the reproductive system? Because sometimes it's very difficult.
I believe it.
I can't laugh sometimes when I really want to laugh. Like I was with a student once and just the penis fell off of a model and I wanted to laugh so hard because it just fell on the floor and just plopped on the floor. I really wanted to laugh and I had to keep a straight face. Just pick it back up and put it back on the model and not laugh at it. And I just wanted to laugh.
Yeah. Well, that is some amazing restraint.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
It's the hardest part of my job.
Well, at least you have this as an outlet.
I do.
So yeah, I enjoyed the Ball jokes. I enjoy Ball's an entertaining villain, usually.
Yes.
But it also was another, like, are y'all really that dumb? You collect all the balls and put them together. Did you think that was going to go well?
Right.
So it was a little bit of a mixed bag. So partly entertaining, partly what the fuck. This is definitely one of those, the Stargate team is so dumb sometimes.
Right?
Yeah. How about you?
It was all right. I thought it was definitely much better towards the end. It was kind of tedious for a while. I had to keep going back and rewatching some scenes because my mind was definitely wandering. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not ever going to be able to talk about that scene because I have no idea what I just watched. So I had to definitely go back and rewatch several scenes multiple times. So the first half was very tedious. It did pick up a bit in the second half. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't really like storylines where they've cloned a character and just made a bunch of them. And I had this same issue with Deep Space Nine and the Wayun character when they just kept killing him off and then another clone would just come back. So I just think that that's irritating as well.
I feel like in both instances, it was probably a lot of the people working on the show really like the actor.
Yeah, yes, most likely so, yeah. One thing I forgot to mention, but I did think it was interesting that they did make the original Ball that came in at the beginning of the episode that said he was the original Ball, turns out was actually the real Ball because he was the one that was identified as Ball 1 on his jumper. And he was the one that was giving the orders at the end to the Jaffa on the ship. So I was like, oh, hey, he was the real Ball. So I thought that was a neat thing that I forgot to mention before. Nice. I want to mention now. So it was okay, I would say. I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was great necessarily. Kind of tedious, but did pick up at the end. Yeah. But it is getting a little annoying that the weapon search is getting as drawn out as it is. I think it's going to take like the entire season, which is kind of
just a bit.
And might even go and like bleed into the movie, but I don't really remember for sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember this season a whole lot. Bits and pieces of it I do. There's still a couple episodes coming up that I remember pretty well, but the whole where and when they find the weapon, I do not remember.
What are we talking about next?
Next is Stargate Atlantis.
Ooh.
Season 3, Episode 4, Satita. According to TVDB, Ronan Dex is captured by the Wraith and returned to his homeworld, where he is haunted by his past as he is forced to once again become their prey. Sounds uplifting.
It does, but I'm a little excited for a Ronan episode because I feel like in a lot of the ones lately, he's just kind of been there.
He's been, just kind of there in the background. Over at IMDb, we finally have one that's just a normal teaser and not an entire giant tome of a recap. This says, after a group of people capture Ronan and give him to the Wraith, he becomes a runner again, but this time he's left on his home planet, Satita, where the Stargate has been disabled.
Oh. I have vague recollections of this episode, I think, but not enough to even say what I think about it, so yeah.
I don't think I remember anything about it.
Hopefully it'll be good.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And Ronan-y.
Excellent.
Full of Ronan.
Indeed.
All dexed up.
Indeed. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary. Our fully listener-supported program couldn't be done without you. Show your support by telling everyone you know how awesome this show is. Find us at stargatesing.space. Reach us by email, stargatesing@gmail.com. Find us on social media at Blue Sky. Get some merch, tinyurl/stargatesing. And finally, show your financial support at patreon.com/stargatesing. Thank you for traveling through the gate with us. Catch you next time on Stargatesing with Kathy and Mary.
I'm Mary.
I'm Kathy.
And you've been listening to Stargatesing, the end.
The end. Sorry, hang on. There's a freaking fly flying around my head right now. It's very irritating.
That's annoying.
That's very annoying. Why are you in here? Go outside where it's cold.